Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Kobe 11 in the Bruce Lee colorway. The Kobe 11 has a retail price of $200 US and is available in quite a few different colorways, including this one right here, even though it is one of the older ones at this point. So if you are interested in a pair, there is a link to buy them down below in the description of this video. It's the very first link, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. Alright, so here is a look at the sneakers. Obviously this is not a recent colorway release of the Kobe 11. I actually looked it up. This colorway came out on March 19th, so it's been a little while since this shoe has been available in this particular colorway. I really like this colorway. I like the look of this shoe in general, and I've been curious to try them out, but I really feel like the retail price at $200 is a little bit too steep, but a lot of them are starting to go on sale, and this particular pair I found at a Nike outlet store that I managed to pick up for well below the normal retail price, so I was pretty happy with the price that I got them for. This is the colorway that I wanted pretty much since the Kobe 11 launched, and I decided to pick them up mainly because I'm just really curious about this particular shoe. So this is the Bruce Lee colorway. It's something that originally started on the Kobe 5, if I'm not mistaken. Really good looking shoe, the Bruce Lee Kobe 5. Yeah, it was the Kobe 5. I really like the look of that shoe, and they've done Kobe 5 colorways on various Kobe models over the years. This is the Kobe 11 variation of that colorway scheme, where basically the colors themselves, this kind of orangey yellow, the red and the black, mimics the suit that Bruce Lee wore it was in a movie. I'm not sure exactly what the movie was called. I'm not any kind of major Bruce Lee fan, if I'm completely honest with you guys, but I really like the look of this particular colorway, especially on the Kobe 11. The other kind of nod to Bruce Lee, aside from the color scheme of the shoe, is this little kind of slash you have here going across the heel. You have it on both shoes. It's embroidered, really thick embroidery. It looks quite good. And again, as far as I know, this is one of the actual scratches or scars that he gets, again, in one of the movies, and they tried to kind of pay tribute to that in the actual embroidery on the heel, instead of having the normal stitches that I think this shoe would have on all the Kobe's, since he did have that Achilles injury, but this particular colorway does not have that. As far as the actual Flyknit itself is concerned, the one thing about this shoe that I think surprises a lot of people, especially if you haven't held the shoe in person, is that the Flyknit upper, because it is technically Flyknit, is a lot stiffer, a lot firmer than you would expect it to be just based on how it looks. From a distance, it looks like straight up Flyknit, but up close, and hopefully you guys can see this in the video, there's little clear kind of plastic strands within the actual Flyknit itself. It's almost like a fishing line type material, and that runs through the entire upper and really adds a lot of structure and just rigidity to what would otherwise be a very sock-like material, which is normally what you get from Flyknit. So they didn't add any kind of extra glue based on what I can tell to stiffen it up. It's basically all the structure is coming from this yarn, as well as the flywire cables running through the midfoot. But for the most part, the shoe does feel a lot firmer than you would expect a Flyknit shoe to feel, especially coming from something like a Nike Flyknit Racer, for example, where there isn't a lot of structure to the upper. This is very, very firm, very solid on your feet, and they just feel a lot stiffer than I think you might expect. There's also some good thickness to the upper as well. It's not particularly thin, again, despite on how it might look. Laces run right through the middle. You have a padded kind of foam mesh tongue, which I actually quite like. The Kobe logo in red right there at the top. I really like how it has that kind of fade effect, which they're able to do with the Flyknit construction of the shoe. So it starts off as a yellow, the flywire cables are red, and then it eventually fades into black at the heel, which looks pretty cool. You have a kind of a nylon mesh right here at the back of the heel, and then the liner on the inside is solid black in color. As far as the inside of the shoe is concerned, this does have a drop-in midsole, which is something Nike has been doing recently with the Kobe line. So the midsole, I pulled it out. It's a Lunarlon foam with a kind of mesh liner on top, and then they did incorporate a Zoom Air unit under the heel, and it does have the hexagon flex grooves in the forefoot as well, which does add to the flexibility of the midsole, although the upper isn't quite as flexible as the midsole itself. So we'll see if that changes after some break-in time. I'm going to wear these at the gym just to kind of work out, play basketball here and there. just something that I like to do. Plus, I like the look of the shoe. They felt pretty comfortable at the store, so I'm curious to see how they're going to feel once they're broken in, because it definitely seems like one of those shoes that you need to wear a little bit until they start to feel the way they're supposed to. The midsole is a kind of translucent black on this particular shoe. What I really like about the Kobe 11, and you see this on Nike ID when you do a translucent sole option, is that you get to see the continued Flyknit through the midsole itself. I just think that's a really, really cool kind of design aspect. The midsole is basically this. Everything else is just straight up rubber. So if you remove the insole, which I've done here on the left shoe, you can actually see your fingers on the inside. So basically this is just a thin layer of rubber making up the bottom of the shoe. And the traction pattern is kind of interesting. There's not a whole lot to it. For the most part, it's pretty smooth with minimal texturing to it. I've seen some people talk about it. Some people say it's great. Some people say it's not so great. So I've seen kind of mixed reviews on the traction aspect of the shoe, given that it is a performance product at the end of the day. So I'm curious to try them out. It doesn't seem like it's going to be all that bad, but it's really hard to predict traction patterns on most shoes when it isn't kind of a more standard herringbone layout. But that's pretty much it as far as all the details and tech specs and just a general overview of the Bruce Lee Kobe 11. Really happy I finally picked up a pair at a more reasonable price than the full $200. And again, if you are interested in a pair, there is a buy it now link down below in the description. Go ahead and check that out. And with that being said, let's move on to the on feet portion of the video so we can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and of course how they look on feet. All right, so here is a look at the sneakers on feet. On my left foot, I left the stock laces in the shoe, which are kind of like a yellowish orange color. And on my right foot, I put in some wide black reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you guys are interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they're pretty comfortable shoes. Like I mentioned earlier, the upper, despite looking like it's completely knitted, that plastic cable they have running through does make it a lot stiffer than it looks. Not to say that they're super stiff, they just don't feel quite as soft as you might expect them to, but they're still comfortable enough. The shape of the shoe is wider than you might expect, has a little bit more of a snug fit through the midfoot, but the forefoot and toe box area definitely does have more of a high volume fit to it, at least for me personally. There is some dead space, but not to the point where I think it's detrimental to the fit of the shoe. For the most part, they fit pretty well. My foot feels secure inside. I don't really think that I'm going to have any issues with stability. The fit in the heel is also really nice. There's tons of padding back there, and the lockdown is actually pretty good once you tie the laces tight. The underfoot cushioning, I like it. It's got the Lunarlon foam. You don't really feel the zoom unit in the heel out of the box, but that's something that might change as they break in and the Lunarlon foam becomes, I guess, a little bit softer and spongier under your foot. But for the most part, they fit pretty well. Not really any major issues with discomfort or issues with the fit. Width-wise, I think they will fit most people, although again, through the midfoot, they definitely do have a little bit more of a snug fit overall. And as far as sizing is concerned, I went with my usual size 9.5 US, which is what I wear in most sneakers, and these fit pretty much perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Bruce Lee Nike Kobe 11. If you guys do have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. And if you have any suggestions for other sneakers you'd like to see featured on the channel, leave those suggestions down below, and I'll take a look at what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you are interested in a pair of Kobe 11s for yourself, there is a link to buy them down below in the description. It's the very first link. Go ahead and check that out. Subscribe if you haven't already for more sneaker reviews, of course. All my social media information is linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.